Terry, your three guys are going to be here very shortly.
Yeah.
I think you're very brave because, well, you're spilling the beans on your own history, in effect.
Yeah.
You're telling us how it was, the steps you've taken to improve your situation.
Well, to me, it was kind of, I was letting my children down because I couldn't help them with homework or any of these things. And now that Brian is now aware of this as well, you know.
Brian, your youngest guy,
yeah, my
is 11.
youngest.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it's different now. Where before, it was ask your brother.
So you were hiding it?
Yeah. Even the closer people are to us, we don't want them to know it.
And are you telling me that, I mean, you went back to learning 3 years ago.
I did.
That prior to that, none of your sons knew that?
They never questioned it. There was only one of my sons actually did question it, and that was Aidan.
And how did he question it?
We went to the bank, and the bank teller gave me this slip to fill in, and I was taking money out of the bank, and I couldn't fill it in. And I actually asked Aidan to actually fill it in for me. But it was shortly after that I actually told my children that I couldn't do it. And Aidan said he knew. Another poignant part of it was my eldest son and my second eldest, Kevin, got a school report, and he said, Mum, there's my report. And actually Jared said to him, why are you showing it to Mum? Mum doesn't care. And I remember inside, there was something inside me dying. I went upstairs and I cried. I'd safely say for about 3 hours. That was the hardest thing I've ever heard out of my children, to say that I didn't care. So it was there and then I had to say, look, this is the way it is.
I've got to do something about this.
Yeah, and I went to my children. I called them together.
Did you?
Yeah.
A powwow?
Yeah, we have it every week. And whatever is worrying us, or if someone is at the other one, it's discussed and dealt with. And once we leave the table, that's it. It's forgotten.
And move forward.
Yeah.
Well, you have been scheming because you've got all these kind of costumes here.
Yeah.
Tell us about the costumes.
This one is yours.
My costume?
That's your costume.
Which I'm wearing tonight.
Yes.
Are you wearing one?
I am. That's my one, the blue.
Very glam. What about the lads?
The lads are wearing...
They're going to be knights of the round.
Yeah, they don't know about this yet.
Oh,
no, not about this.
They're going to love you. This is going to be discussed at one of your 6 o'clock meetings.
Probably.
Anyway, I'm getting a nod to say that they're on their way.
Okay.
So I think we should go out and surprise them.
That's
Can you manage
right.
everything there?
Yeah.
You've been holding onto that bag like a lifeline all day.
I don't know why.
It's like a life jacket or something, isn't it? Is this your crowd here?
Yeah, coming
Okay, look,
along.
there it is there. Look. So
Why
who
did I
we're
say
expecting
Brian?
again, remind us,
Kevin, Aidan and Brian.
And they're not quite sure what's going on. They can pull in here. Hello guys, I presume you're Aidan, are you?
Yep.
Hello Aidan and Derek, how are you? Nice to meet you. Come over, how are you? Nice to meet you. Your mother's got these costumes here and a bag full of costumes here. Do you want to tell him where we're going?
We're going to the banquet. I organised all this for you.
And she did it herself.
And I done
Congratulations
it all
on your leaving
myself.
cert, by the way. We got to go in there now as quickly as possible, get the costumes on and enjoy the night. There's something good.
This week's reading tip is about capital letters. Have a look at these letters, A, E, C, H, and now these, A, E, C, H. As you can see, every letter in the alphabet can be written in two ways, either as a capital letter, which you can also call an uppercase letter, or as a small or lowercase letter. The capital letter and small letter are written differently. But when do we use capital letters? Well, one place you probably know is at the beginning of every sentence, but they're also used at the beginning of particular words. Have a look at these words: Patrick Connolly, Mary Murphy, Fiona Burke. So this is one situation where capital letters are used at the beginning of people's names. And if we add a title to each name, Mr. Patrick Connolly, Ms. Mary Murphy, or Dr. Fiona Burke, there's that capital again. As well as a person's actual name, their title, like Mr., Ms. or Doctor, is also written with a capital letter. Okay, now for a different situation where we use capital letters. Look at these words: Dublin Road, Limerick, Ireland. More capitals: D for Dublin, R for Road, L for Limerick, and I for Ireland. So the names of people and places are written with the first letter in capitals. But now have a look at these examples and you'll see there's something different going on. Like in these signs, home stores, Zara, traffic lights ahead. Instead of being written with the capital at the beginning and the rest in small letters, these words are written entirely in capital letters. It's the way much of the information on road signs and shop signs is written. You can look out for examples all around you. At every banquet in Bunratty Castle, 2 guests are chosen for the special honour of being Earl and Lady for the evening. We are about to find out who has been chosen this evening, and Derek is in for a big surprise.
I am going to welcome you to Bunratty Castle. Slide your sail!
Slide your sail!
So now the people can make way to the Earl of Thomond and to the lady. We lead them to their rightful place in this, the great hall of Bunratty Castle, and bid them slide your sail!
Slide your sail! So I'm the Earl. Right.
Oh, the Earl.
I crown you Earl of Thomond. My lord, I entreat you and your most gracious lady to take your rightful place of honour and rule over our banquet here this evening.
Thank you very much indeed.
At Bunratty Castle, visitors can experience what it is like to live in medieval times. The Earl and his lady take the best seats at the banquet, and the butler oversees the proceedings.
My noble lords and ladies, you will of course have noticed that we have a gracious Earl and party this evening.
Good Lord, I'm a lord. Listen, I've been here at least 10 times
Right.
at the medieval banquet.
Right.
It's the first time I've ever been the lord. It's the first time I've been sitting on a throne, and it's the first and only time I've ever seen the lord wearing the costumes. How did you do it?
Well, I wrote the letter
Yeah.
to Bunratty on Word, on the computer, and I asked them, would they mind if you were the Earl?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was the lady,
You?
and they replied by saying there wouldn't be a problem.
This is a good example of computer applications which we were talking about earlier on, the things you can do if you just get your head around the computer, isn't it?
Yeah. Just go into Word and write your letter.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, so far so good. I'm enjoying being in charge of everything.
Well,
Cheers.
My
oh, no, sorry.
lord.
Sláinte is sail.
Your approval is Brom Bros.
Being Earl for the evening brings with it a heavy responsibility. Derek has to taste the soup, and he'd better like it or he'll lose his privileged position.
He will be replaced.
Have I to taste it?
But you just have to like it. Otherwise you'll be crowned.
It's delicious! It's a bit spicy. I didn't want to say it earlier. Cause a fuss. Do you eat like this at home all the time?
I do, yeah. Oh,
No,
yeah.
I mean like together as a family.
We
yeah?
try. We try our best to all sit down for a meal together, if possible.
Doesn't that look fantastic? I have to say that we really have had a fantastic time here, and it's obvious, by today's program at least, that your learning has done more than help you fill in bank forms and read school reports and read the manual for driving. It's done a lot more. It's enabled us to have a great deal of fun
Yeah,
with your family,
totally agree. Yeah,
with Brian,
it did help.
Kevin,
always.
and with Aidan.
Yes.
So we've had a super time, we really have, I have to say. And before we leave you, we want you to have a look at some of the other learning points in today's programme.
In this week's programme, we looked at how to write in capitals, or rather type in capitals on a computer by using the Shift key and the Caps Lock key, and took a look at 2 other useful keys, the spacebar, which you use to leave a space between words, and the Enter key, which you can use to start a new line. Our reading tip was about how capital letters are used in certain situations, like at the beginning of the names of people and places, but we also saw how road signs and shop signs are often written completely in capital letters. And we learned a useful technique for remembering a new spelling involving 4 steps: look, cover, write, and check. Finally, when you want to do different jobs on a computer, whether it's listen to music or write a letter, remember you need different computer applications.
And if you want to follow up after today's programme, you can get a copy of the free Read Write Now workbook. Here it is. And I said it's free. It is free. All you got to do is pick up the telephone and dial 1-800-20-20-65. That's 1-800-20-20-65. Do it now. You will not regret it. I promise you. We've had a great day today.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Did you enjoy yourself?
I did. I had a great time.
Would you do it all again?
I would.
Worth going back to learning, if for nothing else, just for this.
Just for this alone.
Okay.
It was excellent.
Well, next week I won't be stuffing myself. I've got to meet a man who's going to get me to do something a little bit more energetic and have less food. So we'll see you then. Until then, bye! Now I've got to get tucked in. Fingers, where's my dagger gone? Here it is.